I wonder what game I can go and review today. Ah, I guess this game is something I can review. Hello everybody, it's me Nate aka Double Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing The Last of Us for PS5. Keep in mind, this is a remake of a remaster of the original hit game. So I'm going to be doing this review in a little bit of a different way. Since everybody at this point knows The Last of Us and has played it, I'm not going to do a normal review. I'm going to do it in a comparison, in a way to compare it to the Ultimate Remaster version that I played back on PS4 to see if this is actually worthy of a purchase. So I have 5 main categories that I'm going to be going through with this, quote, remake of this title to really let you know, in my personal opinion, if you should get it or not. First up is gameplay enhancements. Does this game bring enough to the table to be worthy of buying it yet again? Now, right up from the very start, I have to say, from playing through this, they did modify the AI of enemy characters. Keep in mind, not the mushroom heads. They still behave pretty much fundamentally the same, but the human characters are a lot smarter. They have learned how to flank you. They will draw your attention while other people sneak up behind you, and it is a welcome addition to this version. Honestly, on the higher difficulties, they are downright brutal, so just keep that in mind. Along with the gameplay enhancements, naturally you have your visual fidelity. You can play it in either a high-res mode or a 60 frames per second mode. I opted for the 60 frames per second mode for a lot more smooth gameplay. It really is quite noticeable. The other thing I noticed is there's a lot more destructible items that they have built in place throughout the game world. Unlike the remaster version, this one has a lot of stuff you can actually shoot and break and blow up, and it does actually make a pretty big difference, at least for someone like me that notices the real small details. Now, one downfall to it is I noticed that the AI of your buddies, the guys that are with you, still seems to be on the stupid side. I still had several instances where I'd be hiding behind cover, trying to avoid the mushroom heads or the enemies, and my little AI buddy, if it was Ellie or whoever, would run out and they would double back. You're used to this. If you played the remaster and the original version, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that is still in this game. That is one thing I think they might have wanted to take care of, but fortunately they didn't make it to where the AI of the enemy spots you and go, oh look, they're over there, kill them. So that, fortunately, it's a minor nitpick, but that's something I got to point out. Now, the other thing with it is the overall enhancements of the games, including modifiers, different outfits, and when you beat the game, you get color filters. Now, the color filters aren't really anything to write home about, but if you're someone who really likes to want to play the game in sepia or make nice pictures, you can add a lot, but the main thing is the gameplay modifiers, which I'll get into that a little bit later. Now, second up has to be the graphical enhancements. Hands down, do I feel that this is worthy of another purchase with the amount of enhancements that Naughty Dog has done with this game? Actually, yes, it is. They did not just do a cheap cash grab like a lot of people are thinking. They did actually go and rebuild the entire game brand new from the ground up with the game engine. And it does show, with the lighting effects are superb. The reflections are phenomenal, especially in water and windows and stuff like that. The textures, the resolution of the textures, when you get close, is a drastic improvement even from the remastered version. So I do see a drastic difference. Once again, if you're somebody that don't have a great TV or a good monitor to really notice this, you might not really notice it that much, but I really did. Next up is they seem to have a lot smoother animations for all the characters. Like when you're playing your characters and moving around, the animations seem to sync a lot more fluidly together. A lot of times when you're playing the remastered version and the OG version, when you would do something, it would be like a jump to the animation. There'd be like missing frames of animation in between the moves. They seem to have actually fixed that in this, and it's way smoother total animations. Now, I have heard they did not go back and motion capture any new motion capture, so all the data they used was from the original motion capture. And fortunately, they must have had a lot of extra data they could use, because there seems to be a lot more added animations in here. I don't know if they use some sort of computer algorithm to just blend them together, but it seems to me like there's like new animations in between transitions. Really, that's one thing I noticed. Now, next up, hands down, when you play a game like this for, quote, the third time, control. How has the control been modified to actually upgrade with a modern day system such as a PS5 compared to a PS4? Now, first of all, the characters, when you play them, they feel weightier, they feel meatier. They seem, even though you're more mobile to move around, they seem to flow with more weight to them, which does actually make you feel a little bit different in this game world. And applying that along with the haptic feedback, which I will get into in a minute, it does add a lot to the overall experience. Like I said, they move better, but they feel like they have more weight. They almost feel like they're really more in the game world. I know that seems like a minor nitpick, but for somebody like me who has played the original Last of Us so many damn times, I notice these little subtle differences. Now, will that really make it worthwhile to you? You'll make that judgment at the end, and honestly, with the rest of my information I'm going to give you. Next up, gunplay. A game like this that focuses heavily on hand-to-hand combat and gunplay, what did they bring to the table to make this shine above the remastered version? Well, hands down, I would have to say the thing that knocks out of the park is the DualSense additions. The fact of all the DualSense triggers that they added to it really makes you feel like you're handling different guns. You can actually feel and squeeze the trigger of different pistols, guns, like machine guns, stuff like that, and it feels different for each and every single one of them, especially the bow and arrow. Hands down, that is so superbly done with the use of the haptic feedback of the DualSense that allows you to feel the pressure of the trigger as you're trying to draw the bow back farther for like a more powerful shot. It does make a big difference, and in terms of gameplay, while it's nothing that really like changes the game, it adds a whole lot, a new sense, a new dual sense to it that really, no pun intended, that really does add a lot more to the game. It really does. I absolutely love the haptic feedback that they've done with this. They did a phenomenal job in adding all kinds of different haptic feedback. Even like when you're getting close to water, you can feel the rumble on what side that you're getting to. And as you get closer, it picks up, and you can actually feel it through your hands of the controller when you're going past like a waterfall or something. And it's like, honestly, up there with, like, oddly enough, the other one is Astrobot Adventures, the one game that's free that you can get with the system that shows off the ability of the haptic feedback of the controller. This game is right up there with that and showing you what it actually can do if you apply it and design it in the proper way. Now, all that aside, if you add that all together, what is the overall experience you get with this new version of The Last of Us for PS5? Now, the one thing I have to point out is Naughty Dog went above and beyond in adding all kinds of accessibility additions to this game. You can be blind and play this game. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. There's so many options you can do to make this more accessible for people that have any sort of handicaps, visual or physical, to play this game. It is phenomenal. That right there is a superb addition, which I absolutely applaud them for adding. Now, you have to remember, this does not have multiplayer, though. The multiplayer is not a part of this, and let's be honest, the multiplayer really wasn't that good to begin with in the first Last Last of Us, so I'm not really worried about that not being here. But it does come with the Left Behind DLC, which was pretty cool to actually play it through on this. The other thing I have to point out is with the additional graphics fidelity, being able to see the textures of the skin and the dirt and the pores and the overall better designed characters, they did go back and change some of the characters' faces. They did redesign some of the characters that I spotted. Number one has to be Tess. Her face, she looks so much older than she did the original and remastered versions, and it does make sense considering her age in the game. So I really don't have a big problem with it. Now, as a whole, do I think that this is a worthy remake of The Last of Us? I most certainly do. And if you have a PlayStation 5, I highly recommend that you actually pick up and play this game, but with one major caveat. The fact of the matter is the price is excessive. This should not be a $70 game. I understand Naughty Dog put a lot of effort in this, and it honestly does show. When you're running this on a 4K TV, running at 60 frames a second, you can drastically see the changes and the improvements on this game. It is a way better experience than even the remastered version, and I think Angry Joe gave the remastered version a 10 out of 10. I think he would give this 11 out of 10 if the price was right, but the price is not right. Honestly, I think this should be a $40 or $50 game max. I understand the amount of effort and time they did put into this, but it does not warrant a full price of $70 at this point for this game that is this old. Yes, I realize the effort they put into it, but when you're playing a remake or a remaster or whatever, you expect some sort of discount price. And in this case, that is really the only thing I can say that hinders this game is the price. If you want to play this, definitely play it. Just wait until there's a price drop. Wait until it goes on sale and pick it up. This was Nate, a.k.a. Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching this video. Please leave in the comments below if you plan on playing The Last of Us PS5 Remake. Let me know what you agree or disagree with me, if you certain things I missed on this. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.